Oh, I'm muted. Never mind. Right, there we go. Yeah, hello everyone, and welcome back for the second time. Just so I'm not muted this time. And welcome back to the highly anticipated Manchester Derby. We're going to be bringing you all the pre-game build-up, as well as analysis throughout the game, all the live reactions. You know the drill if you know what a watch-along is. But first of all, before we get into the content of today's show, we've got a little promotional video for you. So take a look at this.
So where does this leave the tie? You've got a mountain to climb in Paris now.
Yeah, but mountains are there to be climbed, aren't they?
There's no excuse for those 11 players out on that pitch today, or 13, 14 players that have played in that game, because they were absolutely pathetic.
Every year is the same story.
I watched Manchester City yesterday, who Manchester United are trying to get to in terms of the top of the Premier League, and Liverpool. Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, far better players than are in the Manchester United dressing room, who work twice as hard.
These are the same players that threw Marino under the bus, and they will do exactly the same to Ollie. Lepers don't change their spots.
Yes, it's the big one. It doesn't get much bigger than this. And of course, for a game as important as this, I had to get the two biggest presenters that we could get for this one. It's Sam and Matt. How are we doing, fellas? First of all, I just want to say, before we get into this whole grasp thing, what a VT that was, by the way. Really, really nicely put together. Some fantastic editing there. I'm very, very happy with how that turned out. It was really, really nice. Got me very emotional. I'm just kidding, obviously. But welcome to the show, guys. How are we feeling about this one?
Good.
Wow.
In one word.
Analysis.
Wow. After all that build-up, and that's the response I get. Come on, I mean, you got to give me more.
You could have thrown it to one or the other of us, but yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this. Love a derby game. Man United, Man City, the other way around, technically. It doesn't get bigger than that in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'd say apart from Wolves and West Brom, this is the biggest derby in the Premier League. Matt, this is one of those games where does it matter as much as it used to for the title race? Not necessarily earlier on in the season, of course. Both of these sides were very close together. They're now very much the opposite. City is sort of flying away with the title again this season. Manchester United have had a lot of ups and downs yet again. Do you think this is a chance, though, for United to claw back a little bit of positivity? Because the last 5 games, City have only won 2 of them against Manchester United. 2 of those defeats, and another one is a draw. So they have quite a patchy record against this side.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something. I mean, as you say, often it's one of those things where it's quite vital for the league, kind of the result of this game. Whereas, you know, we've seen City are kind of running away with it, as you say, and the well clear at the moment. And it doesn't really look like there's much there's not really much to play for in terms of the Premier League. But obviously for Manchester United, getting one over on City in this one is definitely going to be something that they'd be hoping for today. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, we'll touch on the lineups in a second, but we've obviously seen a couple of changes to that City side. Obviously, Foden's on the bench, so yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, 100%. Let's get straight to the lineups then. Whilst we're here, might as well. You've mentioned it. So, Manchester City starting with probably their strongest 11. Ederson in goal, back four of Cancelo, Diaz, Stones and Zinchenko. Rodrigo, Gundogan and De Bruyne in the midfield three, with that front three of Mahrez, Sterling and Jesus up front. Pretty full power lineup. They're not pulling any punches here. On the other hand, Manchester United with Henderson in goal. That'll be one of our talking points for today, by the way. Lindelof, Maguire. Oh my God, their graphic is so weird. Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. Then the midfield of Fred, Fernandes and McTominay, with a front three of Rashford, Martial and Dan James. So you've got very much a golfing quality there, I think. You know, Dan James has been very hit and miss at Manchester United. It's not really the quality of player that Manchester United need at the moment. That right wing spot or left wing spot is certainly a position that they need to improve. But first of all, as I mentioned earlier, let's talk about the goalkeeper. So Henderson, De Gea dropped again. They've sort of swapped around quite a lot this season. And De Gea hasn't been the regular starter that he has been over previous years. His form has taken a little bit of a nosedive over the past, I'd say, year and a half, 2 years. Is that fair in saying? He wasn't brilliant last season either. So, Sam, I'm going to come to you for this one because you're the one who pointed it out in our little group chat. For the biggest game of the season, really, this is quite a big statement from Ollie to drop a player that's been so integral to the side over the past 6 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's interesting that it's come today. I would have expected, next season to see this phasing out of De Gea in the biggest games. But with the title pretty much, I mean, we could discuss it further at any other point, but the title's pretty much gone. It's going to City. The bragging rights is what matters today. You would have thought he'd have kept the mentality side of things in there. De Gea knows these games. De Gea has played in them since he joined in 2011. Dean Henderson hasn't played a Manchester derby that matters. Now, I think it's the sort of natural thing you do when an era is coming to the end. You phase someone out and you bring in the next player. Dean Henderson is unquestionably the goalkeeper for Man United in the next 10 years. But today, I think they're going to see something a bit different. It's going to be a lot of long balls. I imagine what you'll see is Dan James starting quite far back, if not right on the man, and it'll be Dean Henderson looking for him over the top. Get them turned, get Man City facing their own goal so they're not dangerous. That's why he's in there, I think, today, is long balls. His distribution is better than De Gea's, long field anyway. I would be worried about the high press. I don't think he's that comfortable in that short passing to his centre-backs just yet, but we'll see. I mean, he's got the formidable defence in front of him. That's the Manchester United defence at the moment, is those four. So I don't think he's coming into an unsettled back line, but let's see how he does.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how that comes about and how it sort of plays out, because Henderson in the games that he's played has been decent. He hasn't set the world alight exactly to the same level he did again when he was at Sheffield United last season. He was by far one of their standout players. I guess the difference is now that he's coming into a team that is full of world-class talent. Maybe he doesn't stand out as much as he did in let's be honest, a championship quality Sheffield United side. It is a lot easier to stand out. But he was brilliant. And another player that has been brilliant on the other side of Manchester has been Gundogan. He returns to the starting 11. What a player he's been over the past couple of months for Manchester City. Fantastic player. Pep Guardiola trying something different. I remember he said in a press conference that people laughed at him when he said that he believed Gundogan could play as a false nine. And in some respects, he has very much taken up that position. And I think that's one of the things that's so good about Manchester City is how fluid their players' positioning tends to be. And that's why they're so difficult to defend against, because you don't know who's going to pop up where. The starting 11 is very much just a template for him to fill, and the players sort of just go off their own individual instructions throughout the game. We've seen that with, I've mentioned it plenty of times before, but João Cancelo this season, who of course, very, very attacking player, almost an attacking midfielder a lot of the time, drifts inside, finds the half spaces between the midfield and defence very well. And Pepper's clearly seen that his attacking talent is worth that. Whether they'll be able to do that as much with Zinchenko in the defence today is yet to be seen. I think for me that weakness is there. Zinchenko is very naive defensively at points. He isn't a left back. He is an attacking midfielder. He played there a lot for Ukraine. So we'll have to wait and see. Matt, in terms of the golfing class between these two sides, this season in particular, we have seen just such a big difference between, in fairness, Man City and the rest of the league. But these are this is first and second. But the golfing class is so big. I don't think Manchester United are going to be able to close the gap. But they could certainly put in a performance today, as they have done previously.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that sets sort of Manchester City apart from this squad depth that they have. I mean, we look at Manchester United and we see the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, players who are really critical to them, and they do have a depth as a sense, but in terms of that sort of like world class quality that City have, they have such good rotation every other match. They're changing up their squad. They've got players they've got surplus in defence, midfield, and in strike. So I think that's one of the things that sort of sets them apart from a lot of other clubs, is that they have that class in the depth, and they're able to kind of rest players as and when, especially in the current season when we see is so kind of coming on like fast, and there's so many like playing pretty much every single mid fixture as well, whether that be Champions League or regular or other. So I think that's certainly something which sets City apart, and I think we're looking at the lineups here. You look at the Man City starting 11; they've got probably one of their strongest sides out, especially with De Bruyne and Gundogan. They're going to be really good in the midfield as well, because that's probably going to be something that sets them apart.
Yeah, the midfield battle is certainly. I mean, they shouldn't even be on the same pitch. Really, it's ridiculous how good City's midfield is. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne has been he's been underperforming really in terms of in front of goal. If you're a fan of your little nerdy stats like I am, he's underperforming his XG by 8. And I saw someone brilliantly commented that he was moving like Kevin De Bruyne, which I thought was fantastic. Brighton, obviously another team that have struggled to be clinical this season. I think Manchester United have suffered from similar issues at points. I think particularly the game against Crystal Palace was quite telling. Obviously, there was that exchange between Marcus Rashford and Harry Maguire, which was sort of documented. Rashford has been a player that Manchester United fans, I think, have been very hit and miss on this season. Statistically, he's done quite well, but performance-wise, he's been frustrating. He's been inconsistent. I think at times his positioning and his finishing isn't maybe what it could be or has been. Maybe we're judging him too harshly, but this is Manchester United. Despite not winning a league title for 8 years? It was 2013, right? It was the last one, pretty sure. Was it? Yeah, pretty sure it was. Yeah. Terrible memory there. I should have checked that. But it is one of those things where can they at least try and bridge some sort of a gap, and they've got to start getting more out of this front three. I'm amazed that he started James and not Cavani. I know that Martial is very much the central figure, but I think Cavani has been a very decent player for United. Definitely offers that bit of experience. I think his positioning is a lot better than Martial. I think he times his runs better, and obviously he's a better finisher. I think Sam,
It's
you
worth
want
pointing
to
out
come in
Cavani
on
isn't
that.
on the bench either, but that is because he's just come back from injury. So he's only just come back into training. So it's not necessarily a
Yeah,
choice that he's got there. I think it was either this front four or Greenwood comes in, or one of the younger players who's on the bench. Because I was just looking at that, and I was
yes,
going to
yeah,
point
yeah.
out that of the 9 substitutes that are allowed, they've got a goalkeeper, which isn't De Gea, it's Lee Grant, and 4 defenders. And then they've got Amad Diallo, Shola Shortan, Mason Greenwood, and Nemanja Matic as the other 4, which I was going to comment, actually. I was going to hopefully get to it and say, that's poor. That speaks to the quality of strength and depth at Man United compared to Man City.
Yeah, exactly. And Shortire or Shortier, however you Shortire, I think it is. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I do apologise. But he was. I think he broke the record, and the youngest ever player to start in the Europa League for Manchester United. Plenty of promise about him. Manchester United, of course, always with an emphasis on youth prospects, and we have seen them produce some fantastic players. Scott McTominay and Marcus Rashford are probably the 2 really academy-wise that you would look at. Dean Henderson, of course, who's now starting in this one. But let's be honest, 21 consecutive wins. You know, as good as you want your young players to be, if you need firepower coming off that bench, and for me, a slightly unfit Cavani is better than a fully fit Martial. And I know that sounds harsh, but Martial has shown time and time again that he will have form in bursts, but he'll just go off the boil so quickly. He's very, very inconsistent. For me, Cavani has been a consistent performer. I think he leads the line well with his experience. I mean, Martial doesn't do any of those things. And, you know, Man City, their strength on the bench is unbelievable. Right? They've got Walker, Aguero, Laporte, Bernardo Silva, Fernan Torres, Benjamin Mendy, Fernandinho, and Phil Foden. I mean, that is a ridiculous bench. No team has the same level of squad depth that City do. It's absolutely unbelievable. And that's what you need, isn't it, Matt? For 21 wins in a row. I mean, we're not talking about 21 games unbeaten. We're talking about 21 wins in a row. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It is, and as you say, I mean, the squad depth. Whilst you were just talking, I've just pulled up some quick stats on the numbers of minutes played, and you know, it's the likes of Diaz, Sterling, and Rodrigo who are the players who have got the most time on the pitch at the moment, and then the rest of them are kind of all a bit of a mixed bag. And you know, those players are going to be really consistent. And I was just going to mention as well, like defensively, you know, you've got the likes of Diaz, Stones, and Cancelo who are that kind of solid at the back, and Zinchenko in there as well. And you know, I think Man City, that's often something we see, that they're quite strong at the back, and that they can rely on those players there. I think this is going to be something that I think it's going to be an interesting match. I'd like to see a close game, but I don't know whether Man City are going to kind of run away with it from the start, really. But I'd like to see it kind of hold out for at least a little bit, rather than it, you know, 10 minutes in, they're 2-0 down or something, or, you know, 20 minutes in. So at least we get a good game from this.
Yeah, if you look at it from a statistical standpoint, it should be a high-scoring game. For example, Manchester City this season have averaged have collected a total XG of 51.6, and then we have Manchester United who have over the course of the season expected goal XGA, obviously expected goals against, is 32.1. So they are expected to concede a lot of key chances, and Manchester City, are expected to create a lot of key chances. So for me, if you look at that, I know in recent derbies, it hasn't been the case, but I think this season, the full Manchester City are in, I think you can expect, for me, a high-scoring game. I think City will probably score at least 2. I think it would be a big underperformance for them to not do that. However, it is a derby. And with derbies, throw form out the window. As everyone says, the form book goes out the window. There is no point trying to predict what's going to happen in a derby, because, as we've seen in recent years, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does have the ability to get Manchester United over the line against Manchester City. And considering the golfing class between the two sides, I think, on paper anyway, I definitely think that, he deserves credit for that. And he has done that in the past. So it will be very, very interesting to see if that is the case. I think one of the key players for Manchester City this season, of course, has been Phil Foden. Fantastic player. I know that there's a lot of hope for him at the moment. He's playing in a star-studded squad. Not playing today, but I'm sure we'll see him off the bench. Sam, how good has Phil Foden been this season? He's up there with statistically chances created, key passes, goals, assists. His output is very impressive for someone his age.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the way Guardiola has nurtured him. He hasn't, there was all the talk of he's going to replace David Silva, and that's true. He will, but it's more important, I think, for City that he doesn't do that in every single game, and that's proven by the fact that his numbers are so good because he's not playing every single game. So the games where he would be misfiring from just playing 3-4 times in a row, he's not having that misfire game because he's getting pulled out just at the right moment. I think Pep Guardiola is very good at that. You've seen that with the form of some players who come back in. But yeah, Phil Foden, you're talking about the England squad for the summer, and we've got him, Grealish, Maddison, Mount. Creatively, that number 10, number 8 spot, we are sorted. And I think Phil Foden should be starting in that. I think the three behind the striker, if you were asking me for my creative England lineup, he'd be on the right-hand side of it. He's a phenomenal player.
Yeah, and it's very rare, I think, that we've come across a player with such natural talent. I think that probably the player that jumps to my mind is probably Wayne Rooney when he first broke through as a young player. His technical ability, was just out of this world for a player of his age. And if Foden gets anywhere near what Rooney achieved, then we'll have a fantastic player on our hands. Obviously, some people might say that Rooney underachieved with England, but domestically, there's no doubt for me that he definitely achieved the pinnacle of football. I mean, he won the Champions League, Premier League. He won pretty much all there is to win. There's been big talk of Manchester City, for example, finding the next heir to Aguero, and Erling Braut Haaland has been the name that's been bandied about. Scored a brace yesterday against Bayern Munich. Don't know if anyone caught that game. Typical Bundesliga match where Bayern Munich go behind and came back to win, which has happened so many times this season that it's become predictably predictable. So there you go. But it is one of those conversations, again, do Manchester United have the pulling power? They are in the race to sign Haaland as well. But of course, Haaland grew up in Leeds. His dad played for Manchester City, sorry. There's a picture of him wearing a City kit on that sofa, that famous photo. It'll be interesting to see if Manchester City will actually pull it off. Of course, there are plenty of teams in the race for him, including Bayern Munich, like every single season in the Bundesliga. As soon as someone good comes, they just buy them all up, and it's like a monopoly of talent. We'll have to wait and see. But obviously, the most important thing today is for Manchester United to extend their good run of form on away games. They've struggled at Old Trafford this season, but their away form has actually probably been their shining light, really. And if they can absorb the pressure, hit Manchester City on the counter-attack, I think that is probably their best chance of winning. But like you said, Manchester City this season defensively have been superb, and that's not something that we've actually been able to say about a Pep Guardiola team. His Manchester City side anyway. They have had so many problems defensively. They could never get their centre-back pairing sorted out last season in particular, where they had Otamendi and Fernandinho playing as a centre-back pairing. And now you look at this season, they've got Diaz and Stones, who have absolutely blown it out of the water. I mean, John Stones is another player who's massively improved. Ruben Diaz, this guy was linked with Wolves last season, and he's sort of mugged us off, really. it's a bit disappointing we didn't get him. But Matt, how good have Stones and Diaz been as a partnership in terms of a centre-back pairing? You know, we look at Maguire and Lindelof, and on their day they can be decent, but they've always got a mistake in them. But this season, Stones and Diaz look imperious.
Yeah, they really do, and I think that's certainly reflected in the sort of the time that Pep's given them on the pitch. And you know, they have, as you say, they have looked solid at the back, and they're reliable. It's one of those things, you know, it goes to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think the most important thing for City this season was to solidify their defensive partnerships, especially for the Champions League. I think, you know, now that they are really starting to pull away in the Premier League, I think the Champions League is probably the big priority for them. So, you know, in terms of challenging for that, I think this season they do look like very, very viable contenders. If you look at the rest of the teams in Europe, PSG are okay on their day. They haven't been superb under Pochettino yet, but he hasn't really had the time to fully implement his ideas yet and bring his own players in. I think Bayern Munich, whilst they're absolute dynamite going forward, defensively they've been really poor this season. Real Madrid off the boil, Barcelona probably going to get knocked out. So, you know, there is a lot of teams there that City, I would put my money on beating. I can't think of another team at the moment that are anywhere close to this team. I think there's a really good chance for them to win the Champions League this year. Manchester United, of course, they look to very much be getting into the Champions League this year. We had Liverpool played earlier. They lost 1-0 to Fulham. Another Anfield defeat. Sam, what is going on with Liverpool at the moment?
Well, you know, it's one of those things. Title challenges title defences are the most difficult thing in football. And Liverpool have just had a really bad one. Worse than David Moyes' attempt at Man United, which, you know, brings some glee to those of us who maybe enjoyed that. You know, seeing it happen again is phenomenal. But this season, I just think, you know, what you're seeing is a bit of mental breakdown. For all that talk of them being mentality monsters, they lost Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Jota. They lost players at individual points. And then, you know, as soon as they started losing people, the players just had a breakdown a bit. And I don't think Klopp handled it well. And I think they just kept trying to blame everything on that. And it just, you know, it swiftly just went from being, oh God, we need to get over this, to, oh my God, this has gone terribly and we need to excuse ourselves from it. They'll just focus on the Champions League now and just suddenly it'll all go well and, you know, nobody will have any problems again if they were to win the Champions League.
Yeah, and, you know, I think what this Manchester City side have achieved so far has been very, very understated. The only team since the Manchester United team of 08-09 to actually defend the title. We've had different winners of the title for many, many years. 2010, we had Chelsea, 11, United. Then since then, it's been City, United, City, Chelsea, Leicester, Chelsea again. Then City with their back-to-back titles. And then Liverpool with their title last season. And let's be honest, this Liverpool team was given a lot of media praise for that one title win. In 30 years, let's not forget. And I think that a lot of people are very quick to dismiss what Pep Guardiola did. Yes, he spent a lot of money, but that doesn't guarantee success. Look how much money Manchester United have spent. And we're talking about a massive golfing class between the two sides. It's crazy. How the difference between spending big and spending well, and that's what Manchester City have done. And you know, as we're getting close to the game now, we're getting close to kickoff, we'll be able to see this excellent recruitment in action. I'm very, very excited for this one. I've got my Extreme up on Sky. I'm a posh guy. Okay, you know, fortunately for me, I can mooch off my parents' Virgin TV Go, so I can just get it up and enjoy the football. Sam, before we start the game, I just want to get a bit of insight. What stream are you using today? What stream are you going on?
I'm using Sky Sports as well, thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Someone clutched up at the last minute and let me go on theirs, so I can't guarantee
What about
that
you,
it'll
Matt?
stay level with everyone, but it's there.
Yeah, I'm on Sky Sports as well. Yeah.
Good to know. So make sure if you are watching the game that you do get Sky. Don't use Total Sport Tech or Hezgol because I personally don't rate them at all, and you get lots of viruses, and they're also not real. So let's get started. Of course,
we've missed the opportunity
Already
to. Sorry to butt in, but we did miss the opportunity to show our solidarity with the taking of the knee before the match, which I do think was quite an important moment that we probably should have commented on. Tom, is that a penalty?
I think we have a penalty.
Got a penalty in the first minute.
In the first minute of the game, I think Manchester United have got a penalty. I do apologise for the confusion. I do apologise for the confusion. Our timer is different to the one is behind. So whilst the timer was still counting down, the game's actually started. Bruno Fernandes has a penalty. 18 taken, 17
my
scored.
match has just kicked off. Mine's just kicked off now, so I'm going to enjoy this. I've got like a 2-minute delay on everyone else, so...
Amazing.
Don't worry, Matt. I can tell you what happens, okay? There's a Man United penalty.
And Bruno Fernandes
I'm going to get Paddy Power
scored.
up here, you know.
Bruno Fernandes
I'm behind.
has scored. He points to the camera. Yeah. He celebrates.
I've got him in my team.
And Manchester United, shut up. Manchester United have an early lead. My camera is not working for some reason anymore. I don't know why, but who cares? Manchester United
where's he going to put this
lead.
penalty? I've not seen it yet.
A minute in.
Oh, it's a goal.
Wonderful penalty. Edison gets a hand to it.
I was going to say that's not a wonderful penalty, unfortunately, Tom.
But it's not enough to keep it out. Right in the bottom corner. Gabriel Jesus with another mistake. He's just awful. And I can definitely hear my flatmate fuming right now because he absolutely hates him. So that will not do his reputation any favours. I'm really sorry about the confusion with my camera, by the way. I do not know why it's turned off. I genuinely have no idea. I've put the game on. I put the game on and it's just turned off. I've never had an issue.
What time is everyone's clock at?
I'm at 2:30 now. I must say when you watch.
All right, I'm on that one now. I'm at 2:30. I've reloaded it.
When we watch the professionals do this, they're not all at different times.
Well, to be fair, usually they are in the same place. Yeah, I can't hear Tommy.
Or they're Mark Goldbridge, which you know. Could... Come on!
Oh my god!
Play it across.
Oh my god!
Oh, you!
Good lord! What is happening?
Now the illusion.
So you see, we started off.
Support Man United just for the people.
We've got the well, we've started off by saying, "Oh, I hope it's not all over by like 2 minutes in," and already Manchester United look absolutely dominant. This could be another one here.
Oh. Oh. Oh wow! I've just let out a very girly noise. Sorry, everybody. Now I've just got the green light from the producer. I've been waiting to show these off. Easter bunny, hot cross buns, or crumpets. Crumpets.
I was going to say hot cross buns.
They're downstairs. I've got Easter ones for them as well. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know where you got them from. Morrison's, maybe. They seem like a very Tory place. But yeah.
Morrison's, Tory place. Yeah. And Tom's back, it looks like.
There we go. I've fixed the camera problem. I've fixed the camera problem. There we go. Right, I think it's probably best if I lead the sort of the play-by-play, considering I am live. I am live at the moment, and you guys are like a minute behind.
We've restarted.
You've restarted again, crikey! Your Sky stream is really slowing down. What's going on? Sky Sports, sort your app out.
Well, you know, Tom, I'm at 4 minutes 30 now. I think Matt's at similar. And what you've missed
I'm at
our
the same.
discussions so far, what you've missed so far, Tom, is my bunny crumpets and the fact that I screamed like a little girl when Luke Shaw had a shot in the box that Edison saved. So, yeah, the pretense of me being impartial disappeared as soon as, well, the game started, really. But
it's interesting to see that Gundogan has picked up a wide left position. Despite obviously them playing a midfield three, he's playing a lot wider. Rodri and De Bruyne seem to be closer together, with Gundogan drifting out to the left-hand side, which is quite interesting. I think they're probably trying to overload Wan-Bissaka.
I
because
think it's a
in terms of pace, they're not going to get him. It is De Bruyne, though.
This is your Yao Cancelo thing, Tom, because he's filling that same void on the right-hand side. So whilst Gundogan's far left, Cancelo's just coming in and filling in that hole that's there. It's almost like a 3, Rodri in front, another 3, and then the front 3 again. It's a really bizarre shape, but you see them do it all the time, and they do it very well.
Yeah, they've definitely got a very fluid midfield 3 and front 3. But at the moment, it's not paid off, and Manchester United's away form looks to be playing an early part here, because, as we said in the pre-match build-up, City haven't always been convincing against United, and this is another rough start for them. But they're definitely pressing higher. With De Bruyne seems to be the most advanced at the moment. Jesus and Sterling dropping in a bit centrally behind him. It'll be interesting to see if he keeps that position up. Mahrez very, very deep at the moment. Looks like City are playing with basically a 4-4-2 with Sterling and De Bruyne up front. Mahrez and... is it Mahrez? No, I think... No, Sterling and Mahrez, sorry, have dropped into midfield, and it's Jesus and De Bruyne up front pretty much.
That's the one. Jesus. We'll call him Jesus.
So he's very, very interesting.
Very early plug for my podcast.
What do you make of the opening penalty?
It's one of those. I think it is a penalty. It's a clumsy challenge. Martial obviously feels the contact, makes the most of it. It's another Manchester United penalty. It's pretty crazy to think that Fernandes has scored 19 penalties. No, 18 penalties now for United. He's had 19 of them. I mean, that is a ridiculous amount of penalties.
A quick stat for you. No player has scored more Premier League goals than Bruno Fernandes at 24 since he made his debut in the Premier League. He also has the most assists in that period, which is a pretty phenomenal stat. Talk about making an impact on a rival.
Yeah, exactly. He's been absolutely he's been wondrous, really. What a superb player, and for the price that they got him, I think a pretty decent deal. Obviously, he is late 20s, so you could say that this is his prime now, or the latter of his prime. As Manchester City come forward here, it's cleared away. Dan James is giving it away though. Sterling, Wan-Bissaka manages to clear it away, but City are definitely pressing really high up the field here. Gundogan hits it, and it's straight at Henderson. Good effort. Gundogan again, though, getting in those attacking positions. Dean Henderson, comfortable for him. Manchester United not really clearing there.
I look forward to this happening on my screen as well.
Yeah. It's frustrating, I guess, to have the lag between the streams. We're not quite on the same level as the kickoff. But I'm sure once lockdown ends and we can all get together in a studio, I'm sure it'll all be much easier just to have a big TV and whack the game on. We can watch it like that. I don't think there'll be any complaints. Yeah, we can do that. We will be able to do that in a couple of weeks, as the producer is telling me, which you can't hear. That's the benefits of being a presenter. You get to learn how to... I think
the whole point of that is, though, that you're not supposed to tell them that he's talking to you. You're just supposed to play it off as if it's you.
I know that obviously that's the point. I've been in news shows and stuff before. I just thought that, the audience is like having a bit of BTS, you know what I mean? So, and I don't mean the K-pop band, I mean behind the scenes. So we're definitely not going to be playing any BTS. We'll get copyright claimed, and it's also not it's yeah, it's not worth losing 18p a year over. Do you know what I mean? It's not the style of music that we enjoy. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you do, and you're keeping it a secret. I don't know. Maybe Matt is a secret K-pop fan.
I'm a big fan.
I don't know if you two have just seen that, but there's the kind of distribution I was talking about from Dean Henderson, missing the centre halves and going straight for Luke Shaw's chest. That's the kind of long balls I'm talking about.
It's a big chest. I mean, I guess one of the talking points from this game is the referee choice, right? We've had so many discussions about officials, and I even watched the video on Tifo Football about how officials are actually chosen on a points-based system. So they will be picked. Basically, they will have a league table, and they will be chosen based on their performance on this league table. But they're also taking into account where they're born and who they claim to support. So every referee has to claim a team before they're appointed. Now, Anthony Taylor, the referee today, is from Manchester. Is he a red or is he a blue? We don't know. But it's a strange choice because he might have some form of bias. Really, you would want someone who's not from Manchester at all, or from Liverpool, for example, because that is one of the other things that they look at. So it's one of those really where they do have to be careful. I think I do remember hearing in the Tifo Football video though that he does support Arsenal, so they might have got away with it. I think they might have just got away with it. If there's any, does it explain the penalty? I don't know. Arsenal and Manchester United are big rivals, so for me they're still a bit controversial because that technically goes against their rules. They're very, very strict on not allowing any referees with any sort of subconscious bias. But you never know. He's giving them a penalty.
I would like to add, I know someone who officiates in the EFL. Now, okay, it's League 2, League 1, that level is officiating.
That's not a good way to start a sentence.
And he's done lines in Championship, 4th official in Premier League. He's from Hull, but he's allowed to do West Yorkshire teams, so like Bradford. That's
because the EFL is not great.
Well, no, I think it's on the same principle. They do exactly the same tests, but I think it's just a case of, he wouldn't be able to do Hull City's big rivalries. He wouldn't be able to do Grimsby, Lincoln, Leeds, for example, but he'd be able to do Bradford. He'd be able to go to Middlesbrough, even though that's North Yorkshire. Sheffield. Was
he on the Middlesbrough game yesterday?
No, actually, because as I said, he's.
Did anyone see the goal? Did anyone? Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah. Did anyone see that disallowed goal that Middlesbrough had? By the way.
Yep, I still don't know why it was disallowed.
Pretty shocking officiating again in the Championship. I do not miss that is the one thing. The Championship very competitive, but the officiating is absolutely dreadful. It is so bad. If you think the Premier League is bad, look at the EFL officiating. It is genuinely awful. I've seen some shocking decisions. And particularly being a Wolves fan, obviously we had, 5-6 years in the EFL. Not brilliant. So Alex Ferguson there looking a little bit forlorn with his Manchester United mask on. He's not wearing it properly, which is annoying. But he'll be very, very happy with the start the team have made so far. No arguments yet between Marcus Rashford and Harry Maguire, so that's already definitely more of a positive sign for Manchester United. They're definitely a lot more compact than Manchester City at the moment. Two very, very close lines in the midfield and the defence. They're essentially just a few yards in front of each other, whereas City are a lot more spaced out. But they're filling the holes well, Manchester United. They're filling the half space as well at the moment.
It's interesting that I think McTominay's following Gundogan. I just saw him there, right on the far right touchline, and now he's just literally walked inside with him. I do wonder if that's a sort of decision they've made, sort of, right, I'm going to be on him because he's in form and I'm supposedly the better defender of the two midfielders. I would be interested to know the behind the scenes of that.
Well, he hasn't done a very good job as there. Gundogan getting in space on the ball, but City are just playing it around at the moment. They're picking their moments. They're a patient side. They're not going to panic. They've been in this situation before. It would be typical City to lose their winning run against Manchester United. And Edison almost being tackled there by Fernandes. Really, really close. Zinchenko, not with a lot of options. Rodri's made himself free, though. I think one of the things about City is the movement is just so difficult to mark. As soon as one player gets the ball, you've got three other players that free themselves up. Good defending by McTominay there, by the way, against Sterling. Fred's giving it away to Jesus. Two Brazilians battling it out. Oh, I tell you what, Fred is really going for Jesus there. There's a chase on here between Rashford and Cancelo. Stones comes away with the ball, though. Oh, they're giving it away a lot here, Manchester City. And Marcus Rashford has the ball now. He's gone from distance, and that's an easy save. Redison spilled it a little bit, but caught it on the second attempt. Matt, you're looking very entertained there. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a little bit behind, so every time you keep saying these big opportunities, I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch this now. And
Both sides.
It's after that sort of exciting
position.
Yeah, after that sort of exciting sort of start to the game, it's settled down a little bit now.
Well, yeah, you're not going to get a goal every.
Obviously.
That would be a terrific game. But yeah, Manchester City not looking as crisp as normal in possession. Both teams giving it away needlessly. And interesting to note that Stones is pushing up very, very high. And you've got Diaz, who is essentially just one defender with everyone else pushing forward. There's a lot of space in the middle of the midfield, though. In terms of a midfield choice, do you think that you would have gone for Matic in a game like this, or do you think Fred is the right option?
I'm a big Fred fan. And to be honest, this is the midfield duo that won them the game last March. Was it March? Just before lockdown, when they won 2-0 and McTominay scored from a far distance in the last minute. So this is their best duo, I think. You can add in Donny van de Beek or Matic or whoever you want to add in to the sort of this collection. I don't think any of them have the same understanding, coherence, chemistry that those two do.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And Jesus has got a chance here. Oh, really good challenge by Lindelof, actually. Really, really good challenge. It was really opening up there for Gabriel Jesus. That's a chance now for maybe Manchester United to break. City have got the ball back again. They're having a lot of the possession at the moment, but as we said in the build-up, United are just waiting to get the ball back and counter. And with the pace that they've got, it has looked to work so far. City have looked a little bit stretched at points, but they haven't really been troubled yet, despite being 1-0 down. Here's Sterling. He's going to have a tough game, Sterling, I think, against Wan-Bissaka. Gundogan with the effort, that is over the bar. Not troubling Henderson there. He's got really nice hair, Gundogan, to be fair to him. I'd quite like to have his hair. He's got a nice lock.
If you want my input, Tom, I think Victor Lindelof's hair is a lot nicer. Now, we're not getting into whose hair is nicest, but Lindelof, actually, wonderful barnet, great locks. I think it's the Swedish side of things.
Yeah, maybe it is. They are a very attractive country. We're sitting here watching this game. Obviously, we spoke about Phil Foden and the amount of talent England have got. Obviously, the Euros could be in England this year. Whether fans are allowed into stadiums or not is yet to be seen. But, we could certainly do a watch-along for the Euros. How does that sound?
Has a decision been made on where it's going to be? Is it going to be in England? All of it now?
Well,
UK, sorry.
We don't know, but Boris Johnson has put in a strong...
isn't it?
Boris Johnson's put in a strong bid for the Euros to be hosted in England. It makes sense. I mean, for me, I would love to see Portugal play at Molineux. I think that would be just a very apt choice.
Yeah, because they'll have to pick the stadiums, obviously, and interestingly, England under-21s actually play a lot of their games at the KCOM, which is Hull. So,
they used to play a lot of games at Molineux as well. I mean, we've had quite a few under-21s England games, and they usually sell quite well, 20,000-25,000. But yeah, Portugal have got to play at Molineux for me if it is in England. And that's not just because Wolves, the whole joke that they have Portuguese players, but a lot of Portugal's first team players play for Wolves, so they would already be used to the stadium, the training facilities. It would be like a home game for them in some respects.
Yeah, so surely you don't want them to do that, given that you support England and France by nationality.
Yeah,
you would not want those players comfortable.
Yeah, but it would just be also. It'd be quite funny as well. Do you know what I mean? It just makes sense. I guess maybe that's the club side of me coming out there. That's probably why a lot of fans in this country love club football more than internationals, because we have more identity with our club football players. But some of those.
Block.
If Ruben Neves scored a screamer against England, I would certainly. I don't know how
I'd
I'd feel.
celebrate knowing you charlatan.
I don't know how I'd feel, to be honest. I really don't know how I'd feel. Obviously, I'd be good, but it is Neves. He's a Wolves player. I'm a Wolves
Don't lie,
through
Tom.
and
You'd
through.
have your France top underneath, and you'd quickly change it. You'd just
Don't out me like this. Come on.
I do the same with my Holland top, Tom. Don't worry.
Well, Manchester United have hit City on the break here. Rashford is up against 3 City defenders. He's beaten all of them. He's still going, Rashford, and in the end, it's Rodri that sticks a foot out and gets it back through to Edison. Really decent play there from Rashford. It looked like he just lost a bit of the control of the ball, but almost bundled his way through. Mahrez up against Shaw. I tell you what, this will be a very interesting battle. Oh, Mahrez, brilliant run. De Bruyne out to Sterling into the penalty area. Cuts inside, still going Sterling. Still going, it goes down. And Anthony Taylor has waved away the penalty protests. Wow, big call. That is a big, big call.
Oh.
They're not...
Have we decided that Anthony Taylor's a red then?
No, I think that's going to go to VAR. I haven't got any sound on, but I think finger in the ear.
I think that will go to VAR.
I think that looked a lot like a bundling over to me.
Yeah, it looks similar to the one that was given away, and I 100% every time I can hear Morgan getting angrier and angrier. Every City game we watch, he moans about the refs being against Man City. So 100% I can hear those comments in my head. I asked him to actually come on the show, interestingly, but he's not a big fan of present like face to the camera online sort of stuff. He likes to keep himself to himself. So
I thought you were going to say us then.
No, don't worry. No. We've already been out for drinks before, so he thinks you two are sound, but he's not keen on the whole YouTube and live thing. I tell you what, it's a solid shout for a penalty. De Bruyne has hit it. Oh, what a save by Henderson! What a strike by De Bruyne. Henderson has palmed it away.
Fred,
Cancelo has the ball.
Silly boy.
Rodri out wide to Sterling. I really need to stop watching the stream. Our stream, and I should be watching the games. I keep cutting between the two. Raheem Sterling. He's got the ball here. Rashford clears away. Fred tries to get away from Rodri. Here's Mahrez. Oh my God. Mahrez kicks it out the stadium. That was pretty tragic. On his left foot as well. His favoured foot. Lovely play. I think it's Zinchenko actually. It is Zinchenko with the shot, not De Bruyne. Sorry, they do look exactly the same from here. Decent effort from Zinchenko.
Here. Are you watching the game from your house, Tom, just through a telescope?
No, on Sky. Obviously, they have the same hair. They have the same hair. They look very similar from afar.
Zinchenko actually has a terrible haircut. I know we were talking about her
He
earlier
does.
in the game. So
Yeah, he does. I'm not a big fan of Spike.
What's as well? What sort of I'm you know me. I'm a big fan of big fan. I went on a rogue shout with this one. I thought it's double game week for Man City here. So instead of most people have gone with Captain Gundogan, I thought I'd go rogue and I captain Mahrez. So a Mahrez goal here would be ideal.
Well, I've given up on FBL, so there's no need to ask me my opinions. I just keep forgetting to change my squad and then eventually just give up and I'm like, whatever. So
I think my captain is still Jamie Vardy from that 10 weeks he was injured, or however long it was.
Yeah,
that was the last time I played.
I've given up on FBL.
We should get a we should get a line in the
Jesus here. Jesus.
What, next season?
De
If we can
Bruyne,
actually keep up with it.
Cancelo, Mahrez,
and
that is
that we have to
well
keep
seen out by Luke Shaw. Good defending by Luke Shaw. Good to see him recovering his form. I want to talk about Luke Shaw actually. He's been much improved.
Proceed that.
He's been much improved this season. For a player that's had a lot of stick over his time at Manchester United, he looks like he's got himself into gear, got himself into shape as well. And he's definitely in contention for the England squad. Sam, you want to take us away on this one as well?
I was shaking my head because you were saying he's got himself in shape, and it showed a really unflattering angle of him as he was just sort of zooming up his body, and I thought, no, he's not. But I don't think he's got the sort of metabolism and the build to look like the two have just passed it between each other, Maguire or McTominay. I don't think he's ever going to look skinny. But I actually think he uses what he's got to his advantage. I think the fact that he lost that pace that he had through that horrific injury from, what was 5-6 years ago now, he lost a lot of the dynamic pace he had as a younger player. But I actually think he's a lot smarter now. I have a lot of interesting discussions with my brother. We're both sort of Hull City, but supported Man United when we were younger, because City were in League Two, and that's sad. But yeah, it's interesting because he does not
Mahrez
like
sat him down here. Oh, shot blocked by Maguire. He's absolutely skin short there. Brilliant challenge by Zinchenko and Wan-Bissaka, by the way.
Yeah.
De Bruyne.
Yeah, that was bad.
Zinchenko back to De Bruyne. Shot blocked. City are piling on the pressure here. Sorry to interrupt, Sam. Cancelo, and that is well wide.
It's difficult because obviously I'm preempting what might have happened in the game. I'm 8 seconds, 9 seconds behind Tom, so I'm trying to just jump in when I think the highlight is over. But no, I think Shaw should be back in contention. I think probably Southgate looks at it and thinks I'd rather have a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th, 23rd right back in the squad, which is difficult for him. But you know, I think left-sided you've got Chilwell and him, and after that there's nothing. So I'm really surprised that there's not a single comment about him being back in there. When I say there's nothing, there probably is, but I'm just not thinking of it. But considering how many players there are on the right-hand side, you'd have imagined they would have started talking about getting Shaw back in the squad. At least taking him as a 30th player in that early bit of the Euros.
Yeah.
Especially when Wan-Bissaka is going to switch to Congo, and that gets more and more likely with each international break. You know.
I mean, for me, he has to start over Alexander-Arnold. I don't think Alexander-Arnold's been... For England, obviously.
I was going to say.
I think Alexander-Arnold this season has been very, very off the pace. I think if you want to go on form, which is what Gareth Southgate said he would do, then you've got to pick Wan-Bissaka. It is a shame for him because if Alexander-Arnold wasn't there, you know, he would easily get into the starting 11. It just so happens that we have two very, very good right backs. Alexander-Arnold, for me, I don't know, for me, he does get caught out a lot defensively. Wan-Bissaka is a lot more of a balanced player, I think, at times. He can be hit and miss, but I think he's been more consistent defensively. So,
Yeah, I am
it's a
surprised
tough-
that he's not going in the sort of. If you think back to World Cup 2018, I'm surprised he's not going in that
Terrible pass
Kyle
by De Bruyne.
Walker right-sided centre back / right back sort of mould. But do you know what? I actually think there's also Kieran Trippier, who is getting older now. Obviously, he's 30, but I think he's an incredible right back, and I think he fits what Southgate likes, which doesn't do any justice to Wan-Bissaka. Because I think you're talking about form, it's England form more than it is club form. I think if, look at Jordan Pickford, hasn't been good for his club for a long time, but has been for England or has the reputation of being good for England, so Southgate doesn't drop him. Yeah, it's interesting. I will be interested to see what he does at the next, if we actually have the friendlies that are coming up in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, I think for him it is very much the case of, with no disrespect to Congo, are they a top team? No. They don't tend to challenge for AFCON much. So, if ever. So, it's a big decision to turn England down. Having said that, he hasn't really played much for England, and you do want to play international football. As we're talking about it at the moment, Gareth Southgate, there he is, sitting in the stands at the moment. Big decisions ahead for him. I think if the Euros are being held in England, I think we need to sack him and get someone else in, because but in all seriousness, do we really? This is we haven't had a tournament in such a long time, and for me, I would not want to go into the Euros with him as manager, because it's such a good opportunity for England to win a tournament in England, the backing of the fans. For us to have Southgate as our manager for that, I think it would ruin a lot of it, because tactically he just hasn't really done it for us so far.
What did the fridge do? Not seen
So Harry Maguire has
Oh, wow.
smacked Jesus around a little bit. He's smacking him about, the little Brazilian, poor fella. It's a yellow card for Harry Maguire. Yeah, strong in the challenge for me. I don't know.
That looked more like
It's a
the yellow
modern-
card was for the abuse he gave him there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a modern day foul, isn't it? Really. I miss the '80s where people used to snap each other's legs. Zinchenko's
you
been
had that
really
in the
involved in this
Bundesliga
game
yesterday.
so far.
Not to,
Yeah.
not to discredit
Lewandowski,
the Bundesliga, but
getting another hat trick, by the way, which takes him up to 31 goals in the Bundesliga this season, and the guy's an absolute freak.
that wasn't what I was referring to for the view. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the Wolfsburg player that scissored the is it De Boer running through on goal for Hoffenheim.
Yes,
literally scissored.
That was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful. I loved that tackle. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So, looking into the context of it, it was 2-1 in the 94th minute. There was absolutely no point in getting sent off for that. I could understand it if it was.
What do you mean? The player was about to score.
And they were 2-1 down in the 94th minute. Either way, they were going to lose the match. Why would you get sent off and miss 3 games? Probably more for.
Well, because it could get rescinded.
What? Sorry, volume levels. Volume levels.
It
Are
screamed
you
like a
kidding
girl.
me?
What?
It could get rescinded.
Small
Tom,
child.
Tom, he took both legs individually
Yeah, I know.
with his 2 legs. I'm not sure there's any rescinding going on.
Are you Sam? It's okay. I was joking.
Why would you do it though? I still don't get it. Not you, the player. Also, the player who didn't kick it in is an idiot. But
Interesting.
Stupid.
Sorry to cut in. Sorry. Interesting to look at the heat maps for this game. Brought to you by WhoScored.com. Man City have definitely had the lion's share of possession, but a lot of it has come down the right and the left hand side. Centrally, they haven't had a lot of the ball so far. They've had a lot of possession, but they haven't really made too much with it. Whereas United at the moment look fairly comfortable, to be honest. Yes, they've defended a lot and they haven't had a lot of the ball, but they haven't really been troubled apart from that shot from Zinchenko. Not a lot going forward for them at the moment with Martial, James and Rashford. But having said that, all they need really is one counter-attack.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, possession 68% to Man City to 32. So eight shots for Man City compared to three of United. But United are the ones in front. So
well, they look comfortable, to be fair. I don't
The
think
old
City have
saying,
really.
goals win games.
Yeah,
exactly.
well, Sterling almost slipped in there. Henderson comes out quickly and collects the ball. Wonderful pass by Gundogan, by the way. You right there, Matt?
Yeah, sorry, it was the slips in that just tickled me really.
Oh, grow up! Come on. What is this? What is this? I'm quite enjoying this little BBC timer thing that we have here, by the way. That's sort of dating. That's pretty neat. That I don't know how that works.
Is it the BBC? It's legit. It's brand new. We this is original artwork that we've put together for you guys at home.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. I just ruined the produce.
I was going to ask if that was us or someone was playing it through, but
I wasn't sure because I was like looking for a rogue window where I'd got the stream open on a thing that I hadn't muted.
Sam has done the old age mistake of answering the producers without any context whatsoever because no one else can hear them. Sam, no one else can hear them.
In my mind, it was you talking to me.
I've played it off 3 or 4 times, and you have to do it once. Come on.
Well, yeah. After we mentioned it, you played it off quite well, and I think me and Sam have found that quite amusing. If you see us giggling, it's because Tom has linked in what he's supposed to do quite well. So.
Gundogan straight at Henderson. Really good chance, actually. Probably his best chance of the game so far for him specifically. Nice play by Mahrez. Gundogan takes over. Lovely footwork past Lindelof. But straight at Henderson from about 14 yards out. Disappointing so far for Manchester City. Lacklustre in front of goal. You might want to update that clock, guys. Well, it's 2 minutes behind. So. Yeah.
Anyway, Tom Brady, greatest sports person of all time.
Oh, we're not doing this again. I've had enough of this conversation. We've ran that into the ground, I think.
Yeah. Agree to disagree.
Joao Cancelo would put us better, to be honest. Oh, here's Fernandes. Oh, it's an awful pass. I'll tell you what. Take away his penalties, he's got nothing. Here's Gundogan. So, if we have a look at the heat map, as we've said before, right and left-hand side, very much the prime focus for City. I think the issue is, though, Wan-Bissaka and Shaw are quite assured at the moment. So do you think that it's worth City going a little bit more centrally, as they have started to do towards the end of this first half? Oh, Gundogan, lovely turn, by the way. Oh, he's giving it away, you tool. That was a lovely turn. Sam, do you think it's worth them going a bit more centrally, though?
I think United will follow them whatever they do, to be honest with you. It seems like they've given McTominay the instruction to just follow.
De Bruyne's crossed it in. Oh, flicked away.
The man goes, is what I was going to say.
Yeah. I do have to interject sometimes. That was a good-looking opportunity. It's gone to waste again. Martial is playing pretty much at CDM at the moment. He's gone very deep for that ball. Oh, lovely flick by James, actually. Martial. Rashford's free on the other side if you can find him. He has. It's a chance for Manchester United here. Rashford into the penalty area. Slips it in. Wan-Bissaka. Oh, it's Fred, not Wan-Bissaka. I don't know why I thought it was Wan-Bissaka. I apologise. Wan-Bissaka is not an attacking midfielder or a central midfielder, for that matter. He also doesn't really get forward, so... Oh, Fernandez has he's gone down. And Jesus is now the player who's been penalised. There's been a lot of criticism on Bruno Fernandes about his performance against the quote-unquote Big Six this season, and he recently hit out in an interview before this game saying that he scored in a penalty in the 6-1 defeat to Spurs, which I don't think that would have been my pick personally to prove people wrong, but he has scored today. It is a penalty though, as usual, but is some of the criticism unjustified? Does he deserve to have some slack cut off him because of the numbers that he's putting up?
I think so. I think at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. I mean, he's been one of the most impactful players to come into a team, and I just think his performance in overall and just generally as a player who plays in the middle and creates chances. Maybe he's not always on the score sheet. Maybe he's not always, maybe his name, isn't always the last person to finish it. But I think his role, much like De Bruyne in the middle, he creates those chances for the team, and without him, I think United would struggle with certainly getting chances out there. He does like to throw himself around a little bit like a Mo Salah type. He loves to go down. But then again, that's just football normally, isn't it, really? They love to go down. Yeah. Did you see that the clip from Match of the
Bruno
Day
Fernandes loves to go down. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, oh dear. I've walked right into that one.
Yeah.
I think he could sue for that or something, couldn't he?
No, it's not exactly defamation, is it? I think any bloke... would let's move on. Let's move on. We got a free kick for Manchester City. Decent position here, very central. I think you'd rather have it leaning towards the left or the right, really. De Bruyne looks like he's going to take it.
I think give it to Mahrez.
No, De Bruyne, he stepped over it. He's hit it, and it's just over the bar. It's claiming a deflection, and I think it has actually been given. It's a corner to Manchester City. Let's have another look. I don't think it takes a nick. Has Henderson got a hand to it? Doesn't look like it. It is a corner though. I'm a bit confused about that one. Doesn't look like it got a touch on the way out. Sam is noting down vigorously what he's going to be saying at half time. That's a good cross. Bit of a mix up at the back there. Henderson got nowhere near it. Stone's terrible touch. Plays it into Mahrez. Well defended by Shaw that time.
So I got all my notes down from the...
He's giving it away.
We didn't even touch on it. I came prepared and everything.
Well, I mean, it's a Sam Allardyce, Steve Bruce game. It was 0-0. What else is there to say?
I was more going to mention about the relegation battle in general, but I think it's...
Yeah, it's Newcastle are in trouble, aren't they?
It puts us in it puts the bottom... I mean, there's two at the bottom, Sheffield United, West Brom, they're way below. You would think they're going to struggle to get out of that position, whereas you've got, is it Burnley, Fulham and Newcastle?
James has run a long distance here.
27. So that is going to be a
Fernandes, good touch, terrible pass. And that is out.
And that's definitely a battle that we're going to see for the rest of the season.
Yeah, 100%. It's a really close one. I think Fulham, for me, I'd actually put good money on Fulham staying up. I think, not just because they're beating Liverpool today, I think over the course of the season, they have played some decent stuff. They look so much better than they did last time they were in the Premier League. Much more organised. I think also Steve Bruce called it a good point. I mean, really, a good point away at West Brom. I know we lost to them, But
Yeah.
I think it's a big mentality thing with Steve Bruce, and of course he did have
Yeah.
that big fight with Matt Ritchie as well, which hasn't helped things. De Bruyne's got the ball in a good position here. He's played it in. Mahrez is in. Mahrez across the face of goal, and Jesus has just missed it by an inch, and he's smashed into the post. He's not hurt, fortunately, but
Was he
what
offside?
a chance for Manchester City.
I thought he was offside.
What a chance. No, Wan-Bissaka I think might be keeping him on. Jesus is offside. He's really smashed into that post.
Oh.
Really close. That is a painful one for Jesus. Poor guy.
Well, just to go back to what you were saying before that with Steve Bruce, and obviously you'd have to say he's lost the dressing room really. But when I think to be honest, when he says it was a good point, if you watch that game, the first 20 minutes Newcastle looked sort of on top, and then the rest of the game somehow West Brom looked the better side, especially in the second half. Newcastle created no chances. And I
Martial's
think
in here.
it's going to be a tricky one.
Oh, Dan James has gone down. Referee's told him to get up, I think. Yeah, simulation. Oh, no, half-time. Well, there we go, half-time. Manchester United, with that second-minute penalty, have the lead. So we are going to go for a quick ad break, but we will be back very soon for our half-time analysis. I need to get some juice because my throat is dying. But yeah. Thank you for joining us for the first half. We'll see you in a bit. Don't go anywhere.
When you elected me into this position, I promised I would sort out the issues around car parks. Why people think there are only 2 car parks that Salford me, we actually have over 10. Let's go.
Look at you! Unbelievable! Wowzers!
Hi, I'm Aaron Calvert. I'm a Channel 4 mind reader and hypnotist.
It was the 5 part.
5 apart.
Yeah.
Turn it over.
when you elected me into this position, I promised I would sort out the issues around car parks. Why people think there are only 2 car parks that suffered me, we actually have over 10. Let's go.
Look at you! Unbelievable! Wowzers!
Hi, I'm Aaron Calvert. I'm a Channel 4 mind reader and hypnotist.
It was the 5 part.
5 apart.
Yeah.
Turn it over.
Hello and welcome back. I think we're without Tom for the first section of this. I think he's just gone to the. Oh, and there he is. He's reappeared. Anyway, we'll go to Sam first. What do you make of that first half?
Yeah, I think apart from the penalty, it was a pretty meaningless first half of football. Very much end-to-end. City with a lot better of the game, a lot more chances. You do wonder if they had maybe the team they had 3 years ago when they were far more clinical, if this would be a completely different game, you know, more like Tottenham, Man United earlier in the season when it was 6-1. But no, I think United have defended well, to be fair to them. They've restricted City's chances to being half chances. I'm sure the XG can be pulled up and they won't be very high up on that at the moment. But yeah, I've been impressed. Both teams so far. I don't know how it'll finish, to be honest with you. It's been completely unpredictable.
I can confirm that my flatmate is in a bad mood. Bless him. No, yeah, like you said, I've just come in, by the way. Sorry if I'm a little bit late, everyone. Right, so I bought this. Look at this. I found this in Tesco for £1. Look at the size of this. It's mango and passion fruit juice. It's absolutely banging. 1.5 litres.
That's some good analysis of the first half there, Tom.
No, hey, look, spice it up sometimes. You don't get this on the kickoff. Manchester City certainly have been a bit wasteful in front of goal. They've had a couple of chances, but in possession they're not as fluid as they used to. And I think that Manchester United do that very well. We have seen this in previous contests where they do very well to break City down and slow them down, getting forward. and they've caused them, like I said, they've stretched them on the break. And I said in the pre-match build-up that was probably going to be their game plan because it has been for the past few games that they've played City. And yeah, they've been impressive so far. Pardon me. What? I said a burp. Oh, here we go. Fantastic. What was it? Oh, Liverpool Wolves.
Let's address it first. Tom, do you want to introduce this next question, this next segment?
What segment?
Hashtag professional. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, hashtag professional. Sorry, no.
I'll put it to you, Tom. I'll put it to you, Tom. What do you think of Wolves' chances? Was that at Anfield, given the performance today?
I was about to answer the question. I was about to answer the question. 0-0. And
that's
there we go.
No, Tom, that's not how do you fancy your chances. That's what score you think it'll be.
That's how much I fancy my chance. I don't fancy us at all. Okay, I said this before we went live. Okay, we don't even attack, let alone win games. So it's going to be, even though Liverpool are there to be got at, like we saw Fulham do today, we're going to sit back. We're going to do whatever. We'll probably have a couple of chances through Neto, and that'll be that. And we'll bring on. Do you know what? I'll tell you how this game will go. First half will be rubbish. Second half will be 30% better. We'll bring on Fabio Silva on 75 minutes, and yeah, that's it. I could probably put a good amount of money that exact thing will happen because it happens every week. It's literally the same game every single week. That's why Wolves fans are fed up at the moment, and that's why there's quite a lot that want Nuno out. There's a lot the vast majority I think still want Nuno in. But we have been linked with some weird names. I mean, Gattuso. Been linked with Gattuso for this summer. I find that personally very strange. His Napoli side have been very, very inconsistent this season. Gerrard, we've been linked with Gerrard. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. A lot of Wolves fans want Jesse Marsch. Of course, there is that Ruben Amorim for the Sporting Lisbon head coach at 36, by the way. Has got Sporting top of the league and unbeaten as well with 21 games played at the moment. And interestingly, Sporting offered him a new contract, or he signed a new contract at Sporting over the last week, and he's got a release clause of 30 million euros, which for a manager is ridiculous. That is an insane release clause for a manager. A lot of potential about this guy. Like I said, only 36. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye for Ruben Amorim. He's going to be in the Premier League in the next 5 years. Yeah. So right, whilst we're waiting for some other questions, I'm going to quickly get up our stream on YouTube. Normally I wouldn't do this because my Wi-Fi really struggles, but I'm just going to answer the question. Fans guide to Premier League grounds. I'll be interested to get your view on Molineux, to be honest. At this point in the season, as of this point in the season, who is your player of the season? Player of the season. God, that is a tough one.
Do we all get a pop?
I'd probably put Connor Cody up there. Yeah, I'm going to go with Connor Cody.
I'm sure it's been good, Tom, but why?
I think for me, he's probably England's best defender in a back three system. I think his distribution is, some of the best in Europe. And I also think that in terms of a leader, there's no one else that shouts as loud as he does. And I think that, that's a massively important thing for a professional footballer. And he's funny as well. He's a funny guy. So yeah, I'd put Connor Cody down for my player of the season. What about you guys? Quickly get your players in. Come on, say a name. Give me a name, and then we'll get into the second half.
I'll go with Ilkay Gundogan if he can continue this form. I think it would be very impressive if he did, but I don't see why not. I mean, he's just had probably one of the best months, and I think he'll be crucial in this second half. I wouldn't be surprised if he spearheaded Man City's comeback.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Say the same, but obviously honourable mentions for Suchek. I can't even pronounce it. Suchek.
Yeah.
Had a very good period, but I didn't yet to see if he's going to be consistent.
Yeah,
any of the West Ham players.
I would probably agree with Suchek. Actually, I don't think Connor Cody is player of the season. I haven't drunk that much mango and passion fruit juice yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Right, we're getting into the second half then. Let's get it, boys! Come on! We've got the Man United players running through some yellow cones at the moment. Very strenuous warm-up. Brilliant to see. That is what you want to see. That is quality from Manchester United. Manchester City, though, really need a better second half. It's a big, big second half for the team in blue. And it's live. There you go. And Jesus is going to get us underway. I'm looking forward to the second half. I'm hoping that City can come out of the blocks a little bit more and be a bit quicker with their passing. Far too slow in the first half at points. And with Colin Bell...
Would you say, Tom, would you say that with, Man City, they've looked comfortable, the possession of City are now 67%, 13 shots to 4. Do you think that there's gonna come a break? Eventually, they're gonna break through here.
It's tough to say because we've had the same thing happen in previous games between these two sides, where City just haven't been able to produce the same amount of attacking play that we know that they can. So I don't know. They've got Colin Bell, the king, of course. In the sort of the mural, the pictures on the covers for the seats. So hopefully he'll be watching on and give a bit of good luck for this side. It's certainly going to be an interesting second half. Will Man United step up the pace a little bit though? They might go for the kill here and try and get another goal, because at 2-0, is it game over? We don't know. We'll never know. It's not over till it's over. Sam, you're looking a bit confused there. You're looking really, really, you've got that sort of that concentrating face on us.
It's like he's analysing. It's like got him, Marcelo Bielsa. He's looking.
He's got his pencil.
Here.
He's got his pencil there. He looks all professional.
Next, we're gonna see him squatted down.
Listen, guys, if you want to see me squatting down, guys, you can see me squatting down in a second. But I've got some
stats for you here, boys. I've got some stats for you. I don't even get to
defend myself. He's gonna tell you some
no,
stats.
I'm gonna back my opinions up with facts and logic. There we go.
Okay, well, I would like to say I was the reason I looked so studious was I was trying to work out.
City have just hit the woodwork. Rodri.
Not yet.
What an effort.
Yeah, not on my screen.
Now they have.
Rodri has just hit the woodwork for Manchester City. Lovely play again. Mahrez, nice little ball. Jesus touches it off. Rodri goes up, bang, side foot, and it's just hit the cross joint. Oh, that is really unlucky. Lovely bit of play. Wrong technique maybe from there. Put your laces through it. I'll say cut across it or something.
No, if he'd put his laces through it, it would have ended up in the crowd, I think.
If you get over the ball, get a little bounce before it goes in. I don't know, it could be one of those. Bloody
hell, Wan-Bissaka, give him a chance.
Of course, if Manchester City do manage to turn this one around today, this will be their 9th consecutive home win. Their home form has always been probably a strong suit of theirs, but I mean, it's particularly good this season. I think Manchester United, in terms of their away form, for them, this is a massive chance. Of course, even if they do win today, they'll still be 11 points behind. So, I don't know. Manchester United have drawn their last 4 away games, so you wouldn't bet against City getting an equaliser in this one. But it would be United's 8th consecutive match without defeat, so they are in decent form, but it doesn't feel like it, of course, because of how good City are, or how good City have been, really. And Luke Shaw is absolutely bombing it up the pitch here. Look at this pace. You say he's lost his pace. Rashford's in here. Back to Shaw. And Shaw has scored! It is 2-0 to Manchester United. Luke Shaw has fired it into the bottom corner, and our first half analysis of the man himself has paid off. Wonderful play, bursting up the pitch, plays a 1-2 with Rashford, and he's placed it into the bottom corner. Do not adjust your screens, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2-0 to Manchester United. And it looks like they will be ending Manchester City's run of 21 consecutive wins. Maybe a hint of offside on Marcus Rashford. What a finish by Luke Shaw. It has to be said. It's a wonderful, wonderful finish. What do we make of this one, guys?
Are we giving Matt a chance to catch up and see the goal, or are we just going with this? Because
right. Have you still not seen it? How far behind are you?
No, I have. I'm just watching the replay. I've just got to the replay now.
Yeah, it's a good finish. I did think when he checked back on himself that he was going to waste the opportunity, but yeah, I think he tricked Edison a bit by actually doing that. I don't think Edison expected him to go fast post, but yeah, fair play. I mean, sure, he's not lost his pace anymore. Fair enough. Maybe he found it.
Sure, he hasn't.
Sorry, yeah, bad pun.
How many Shaw jokes? How many Shaw jokes are we going to make?
Best a man can
Do you
get.
prefer Links or Shaw? Well, at least I made myself laugh. Yeah. We've got a game on our hands though. We have a game on our hands. City have to get the next goal.
At the end of the day, City should come out here. They need to get up the field. They need to, because nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, exactly. This is a turn up for the Bucks. Unbelievable. I can't believe that. Well, I can, but I also can't. Always a stumbling block for City, this. But Sterling getting inside. Wan-Bissaka, and he's curled it straight at Dean Henderson. He's had a very, very muted performance, Raheem Sterling. And Matt, I think that captaining Mahrez isn't quite paying off at the moment.
No, it's not paid off, has it? But you know, this is FPL. You've got to take risks like that.
This is where we see that someone out there has triple captained Luke Shaw.
Probably there'll be someone.
A great choice if they have.
Yeah. It would be. It would be. And I would also be convinced that they can see into the future, because there's no way anyone in their right mind would triple captain Luke Shaw. It's just, I don't know. Why would you ever do it? Why would you ever do it? Unbelievable. It's an interesting talking point, though, because, of course, they did sign Alex Telles, right, this season, who was supposed to be this big world-class upgrade. And he's been benched by Luke Shaw. I mean, it's a pretty bad career move for him, to be honest.
I want to expose you for that, because that wasn't even the producer. I sent a meme to the group chat, ladies and gentlemen, which was this. Is it going to show up on screen? Ooh, there we go.
He's trying
Man
to take
United
credit.
sign Alex Tellers.
He's
Luke
trying to
Shaw,
take credit.
and I took that personally. I didn't tweet that. I just said I found a meme. But yeah,
Well, you couldn't have just.
No,
you couldn't have just. You couldn't have just let me got away with that, really.
Nope, not at all.
Come on.
If you'd done it to Dan, wouldn't have
Awful.
cared because that's why he's there. But do it to me, I'm not having it. So, okay. I'm
Well,
bitter,
why didn't you?
resentful.
Why didn't you just show the meme on the screen in the first place then?
Because I thought, I'll be more professional than that, and then you just
Moron.
ripped it off
Oh,
me.
Jesus is in. Mahrez. Oh, they've kind of fluffed it a little bit.
Mahrez.
De Bruyne, that is awful. De Bruyne, that is absolutely terrible. I tell you what, De Bruyne has not turned up for this game at all. He's gone missing, really. His passing has been very off the pace. Mahrez has just fallen over. And Rashford, Fernandes has got the ball. He's played it into Rashford. He's skinned Diaz, but he's gone very wide on the near touch line. I tell you what, if City aren't careful here, United could get a third, and this could be very embarrassing. United are chasing every ball.
They've got that fight, haven't they? They look like they won
Yeah,
it. You can almost say that from the get-go as well.
Yeah, they've played with a lot of energy, and City are struggling to deal with the high press at the moment. And they're struggling to get anything going forward. Again, that's another lacklustre pass from Cancelo. Easy for Maguire. It's just a very, very strange game. And yet we've seen it happen before. Martial, wonderful turn. And he's bundled his way in. He's up towards the penalty area into Dan James. And James has, in Daniel James fashion, put it into Rosé.
Stop being so mean to Dan James.
Martial is absolutely fuming there. He's skinned. Is that Stones or Diaz? Yeah, he's skinned Stones. Gets up towards the penalty area, plays it out to James, and he's... Oh, it's actually deflected off Zinchenko. So, I apologise to Dan James. I've doubted you too much there. This is a real chance for Manchester United here. They have a corner, a lot of height as well in this team. McTominay, Maguire. This is where Cavani would be useful.
Luke Shaw, who's 6'1".
He's taking it.
Fun fact. Yeah, but
Luke
he's
Shaw
6'1", and also my stream has paused. So just...
Oh, Fred is back to Wan-Bissaka, and that is out of play. So City get a chance to maybe recuperate a bit. It's been a very muted performance, though. The front three have really struggled to get anything going. You'd have to say that you probably would expect Aguero to come on sooner rather than later.
Who are you taking off?
He is. I would take off Jesus, to be honest.
He's
been pretty atrocious. Yeah, he's been pretty atrocious, to be honest. Here's Diaz, Zinchenko. There's just not a lot of room for City to move around in at the moment. They're still moving the ball around very well, though, to be fair to them. Here's Mahrez. Cuts inside. Oh, and a bit of miscommunication there. Cancelo took it off Gundogan. Man United have got all 10 players camped outside their own box. Really compact at the moment. City are struggling to break it down. And they've won the ball back again. To be fair to Man United, defensively, they've been fantastic so far. Really organised, disciplined. They've pressed when they need to. And City have given the ball away again. An unforced error. Luke Shaw is tearing up the pitch again. City are backing off. Shaw has played it out wide to Fernandes. Fernandes has crossed it in. It's taken a deflection. It's Martial. What a chance. He's headed it straight at Ederson. What a chance for 3-0. I'll tell you what, if that's Cavani, that's in. I will be vindicated with my Cavani fan club here. Mahrez has got the ball now. He's off. He's tried to skin Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw has just stood there and let Mahrez run straight into him, and he's been yellow carded for obstruction. I think that is probably the most clear obstruction you will ever see. Yeah, I think that's the most clear obstruction you will ever see. Yeah. Well, have a look at this chance. What an opportunity this is for Martial. Bit of miscommunication between him and Rashford. I think they got in each other's way a little bit. Ederson has just managed to get both hands on it.
He almost rugby tackles him.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That is a proper obstruction, that. Unbelievable. I feel for City fans, to be honest, because we lost to West Brom, and that was the worst day of my life. So God knows how this feels. Martial loses possession to Mahrez. Quite a strong challenge there, but referee waves it on. De Bruyne, no Sterling. Bursts past Wan-Bissaka, but his cross is blocked to the corner. City is starting to build up maybe a little bit of momentum. The problem is, though, Manchester United have got the danger on the counter-attack, haven't they, Sam?
Do you know what, Tom, they have? You caught me at a bad moment. I was just doing some research. But, yeah, I mean, you're right.
You're the one with the pencil, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
And it's fallen to Mahrez, who skied
from any of my analysis. I've been writing this stuff down for 59, 60 minutes.
Well, so. Why don't you give us some of your famed analysis then? Go on.
Okay, so one of my bullet points I've got here is on the hair debate, that actually Riyad Mahrez has a very nice fade. I noted that down early on in the game. But second half analysis, it was actually about the shape, which I was talking about earlier when you interrupted me then to talk about your stats that you never used. In the opening stages of the first half, first couple of minutes, they were literally playing a 2-4-3. That makes sense, yeah. They were playing like a weird shape. They had the two centre-backs in the middle. De Bruyne out on the right-hand side, literally just right midfield-esque. João Cancelo playing in a central role. Rodri sitting between him and then Gundogan on the left. And it was just this weird, like, almost like Pep had sent them out there and said, just look more organised. And
yeah,
they seem to have reverted to a bit more of their standard shape now, with that Zinchenko tucking in, Cancelo pushing up on the right-hand side.
Whoa, steady on there, son.
Yeah, I slipped over my tongue, and so I just stopped rather than correcting myself. But they're just playing the replay now. The other thing I'd noted was Martial probably should have gone with his foot for that headed chance. Now, whether or not he would have actually made better contact is another thing, but I am quite surprised he went for a header, really. They're working the ball side to side, City, but up and down, not so well. I do wonder if that's going to change with the substitution that they should make. Oh, I just punched my laptop.
That's unneeded.
Tom Parker Mickey takes out of me, and I took that personally. Just punched my laptop screen. So
amazing. I'm listening back to the audio on our stream, and my microphone just not sound. It's not the right microphone. It's very echoey. Whereas it's normally.
Well, it doesn't sound that way to us.
Quite nice.
It sounds alright to me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to. And I don't mean echo as in I can hear myself. I mean room echo. It sounds like I'm using my laptop microphone, not a USB one. I have made the mistake of accidentally recording on Audacity with my laptop microphone on before, and not the USB.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other mistake you've made, which was addressing the producer as though he was part of the encore of people.
Yeah, well, I just want to put it out there.
So far today.
I just want to put it out there to people watching, or person watching.
People. There's more than one.
That it's fake. It's fake news. Oh, Kyle Walker's coming on, by the way. Game changer.
That's what I was talking about when I said the up and down as well as the side to side. He is a good ball carrier. He does move the ball forwards very well. Do you know what?
Speaking of ball carriers, here's De Bruyne. And he's played it into
take him off.
Jesus. Jesus is in, and Shaw has recovered
to
really,
Mahrez.
really well. Shaw has recovered fantastically there, I have to say.
Did he handball it?
United
There
are
seems to have been
really
some complaining for
trouble in City here. And this looks like it's going to be another pretty comfortable Manchester United win against Manchester City. Which, I mean, it certainly goes against the form books, but like you said, with a derby, form goes out the window. I mean, to be fair, both of these sides are in good form, but obviously City are just normally a lot better than what they have been. But we have seen in previous seasons that this has happened several times. They've only won 2 of the last 5, and it looks like it might be 2 of the last 6 now against Manchester United.
And yet those 2 wins have taken them to
Rashford.
2 Carabao Cup finals. So,
Yeah,
you'd take it, wouldn't you?
swings and roundabouts.
It is still the Carabao Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not the most coveted trophy, I guess. I'd happily win it though.
No, I meant, is it still called that? I didn't know if it.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. No, it is still called the Carabao Cup. And Gundogan, Zinchenko infield to De Bruyne, just gets it stuck underneath his feet a little bit. Mahrez, play it out wide. What are you doing? Oh, dearie me. Jesus. Oh, and he's put it too far ahead of Sterling. Really good opportunity to get the ball across goal, and again, Gabriel Jesus is having a poor game, really. I don't think I've seen him had a good game this season, apart from against Wolves, which is just typical, really. We have a habit of making average players look world class. João Cancelo has come off for Kyle Walker. I'm surprised about that. I would have thought that he would have switched Cancelo out to the left-hand side and put Kyle Walker at right back and take Zinchenko off, but
do you know what? I was going to... I personally, of all of the players, I don't think any of the defenders should have been coming off. I think, to be honest with you, they've not been that bad. I know they've conceded twice, but
yeah.
Actually, they're the ones who've been using the ball properly. It's the midfielders that have been a bit sloppier. De Bruyne especially has had a very poor game by his own standards. I'm sure he will reflect on it with a couple of nightmares during the week. Not that I wish those on him, but...
Yeah,
that was very Partridge, sorry.
Yeah, it was.
It comes with the territory of just speaking, I think.
It's going to be interesting to see if that makes any difference. I am surprised that he's brought off Cancelo, to be honest. My favourite player, Cancelo. I talk about him all the time. What am I going to talk about now?
I think it's probably a stylistic shape thing, to be honest with you. You can already see him. He's already wider and more right-backy than Cancelo was. For that Martial chance,
you got any backy?
Bring it up again. But
got any backy, man?
Mahrez was actually further back than Cancelo for that Martial header when he should have gone with his foot. I just went very Steve Bruce and actually went header. So.
Luke Shaw's haircut looks like grass, but upside down.
Or like a city with very tall buildings.
Yeah, except they're all the Shard.
Yeah, or the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah. Dan James is down, by the way. It's a sad day for football. Phil Foden is coming on. Star boy. Will he make the difference? He's got Calvin Klein boxers on. That's the hallmark of a man with confidence and money. That's what a wage at Man City can get you. Martial into Rashford. Back to Martial. United moving the ball around well. Rashford has... Oh, he should have had a shot there. Marcus Rashford with a really good chance. And he's decided to try and pass it. He's given it away. James has tried to outpace Sterling. Daniel James, for me, he's a little... Really. Yeah, he's a bit like a Adama Traore, Daniel James. He's just all pace and not much end product. And Rashford. Fred. McTominay's gone down. It's fallen through for Martial. Oh, what a chance, and he's missed it. How on earth has he missed that? I think it's been pulled back. But that's a ridiculously bad miss. Great save by Edison, but you can't give the keeper a chance from there. I think he might have been offside. And he definitely wasn't offside. I think it might have been a foul. Oh, the referee's waved advantage. He's clean through, 12 yards out, and he's put it straight at Edison. That is shocking. Really poor from Anthony Martial.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say really poor from Anthony Taylor there. I just got really confused.
Yeah, no, I would like to confirm Anthony Taylor is not playing up front for Man United as much as he might want to be. Sure. And that's straight to Edison. What have we made of the second half then so far?
It's difficult to really know. I know United have doubled their lead, but I don't think they've necessarily shown much for that. But then this is the most un-City performance I've seen from them in a long time. I mean, there were 21 wins in a row, 29 unbeaten. Not seen that today. You wouldn't have picked them any apart. You probably would have thought they were having a similar season to Liverpool the way they've played, but yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. Rashford has just gone down here. I think he has pulled something. Looks like he's going to be coming off.
Not the sight you want to see as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is it? I was going to ask, do you think he'll make any changes? Because if you're asking me, I would have been taking off Martial, but at this point now, you've got the perfect opportunity maybe to stick someone on up top and move Martial to his preferred wide left position.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a tough one. It's a tough one because I think Cavani could maybe come on. You could push Martial out wide, in off the left-hand side. He has played that previously. He's really hobbling at the moment.
Cavani isn't on the bench, is he? I'm not going stupid. You have just made that up, right? I did think I told you pre-match, Tom.
Yeah, no, yeah, you did. Sorry, I keep forgetting. Phil Foden has come on for Jesus, by the way. So I think that means that maybe Gundogan might go centrally. I don't know. Or Foden goes centrally, and then we'll have Mahrez and Sterling as a front two.
Or maybe Sterling central. Foden. Or Mahrez central. They've got so many options.
and then Foden and Sterling either side. That wouldn't make sense. Zinchenko has played the corner back to De Bruyne. Decent cross. Well, I'll say decent. Straight at Henderson. Easy peasy. He's not had a lot to do today, Dean Henderson. Edison has certainly been tested more. That one save against Zinchenko's effort is really the only save he's had to make. He's booted it straight out of play. I think there's going to be a change here for Manchester United. Marcus Rashford is unable to continue with that injury. So, who are they going to bring on, actually? They haven't brought anyone on. They haven't brought him on yet. So they're down to 10 men at the moment because Greenwood isn't ready. And Rashford has already hobbled off. So City have got a little window here where Manchester United have only got 10 men on the field. Can they use that to their advantage?
They use it to their advantage. This is
what I just said, yeah.
Yeah. What's the what would you say is the etiquette here? Would you wait? Would you?
Oh no, you go for it, mate. No, you go for it, 100%.
I think, yeah, there's a little bit of like sensibility. I do think that's why I was laughing, by the way.
It reminds me of that.
There's a bit of handbags going on between Solskjaer and Guardiola because Guardiola left Ollie hanging for a fist bump.
Well, I imagine they probably thought it was over. Wow, this really is handbags. I think he probably thought that there was like the agreement that Mason Greenwood was going to come on, so it was sort of let's finish up fist bump, and then Guardiola just walked off.
It's almost got that Leeds vibe, you know, where they scored that goal and then they ended up giving it back. When everyone
Guardiola has far less ethics than Bielsa, so that would have stood, and they wouldn't have been getting the goal back.
Yeah. I'm not going to slight Pep Guardiola.
No, I like Pep Guardiola, and the jumper he's wearing shows he's got morality, but I don't think he's got footballing ethics.
Zinchenko, goodness me, Zinchenko taking a bit of a risk there, heading it back to Edison. That was not convincing at all.
Blimey.
Christ. City have not been that bad, honestly, defensively, but going forward, they've had little to nothing. But I think that's credit to Manchester United because they've shut the game out really, really well. They've defended well as a unit, and they've looked a lot more cohesive than Manchester City have, really. Having said that, City's attacks are looking good. Here's Foden. Oh, that's a Mahrez. Zinchenko, Foden! Oh, what a chance. He's missed it. Really big chance for Phil Foden. Pep Guardiola scratches his bald head. That was... what? No, that was Foden that took the shot.
Yes, and it was De Bruyne who crossed it, not Zinchenko. That's what was just...
Well, they look exactly the same. Oh, that's a great chance.
But, it's interesting.
He sliced it completely.
It's interesting watching the body language of Man City. After that, you see Sterling instantly starts a little bit of a moan at Foden. It's not something you often see with City. They're not often at one another's throats. They're far more sort of collective, unity, fight together, win together, that kind of vibe. And today they've just not had that sort of cohesion, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, it's been a real surprise at just the drop-off in performance here. They were so good last time out against Wolves. This time they just haven't had anything going. And to be honest, I'm surprised that more teams haven't used this as a blueprint to play against Manchester City, because United do this often and it works brilliantly, where they just close them out and City just struggle to create. They struggle to get any momentum. And at the moment, it is looking very, very bleak for them. Dan James has made a run on the left-hand side. Luke Shaw, again, has ran pretty much the length of the pitch. Gives it away, but Fred's got it back. Walker defends against Dan James. And gets the goal kick in the end as well. Good play from Kyle Walker, but 14 minutes to go now. The clock is against Manchester City. It's not looking good.
It's interesting watching players play against Dan James because they know how quick he is. I imagine it's the same with Adama Traore. But just then, when Shaw was breaking, Kyle Walker had no eyes on Shaw. He just looked at Dan James and just turned and tried to run with him. I do think that's the one thing I was going to talk about in the first half, but it's happened now that they've switched sides because Rashford's gone off. But it was interesting that Dan James was fully on Zinchenko first half. He didn't once go across and try and exploit the space that Cancelo was leaving. But now that they've had to move him across, it'll be interesting watching him against a fully fit, fresh Kyle Walker, because he won't be able to beat him around the outside. I would have thought they'd have maybe put Greenwood that side just to keep, the legs against the legs, really. Tried not to be outpaced on that side too much, but...
It's interesting to note as well. Sky put out a graphic just then. Pep Guardiola has only won one game at home against Manchester United in his City tenure so far, and it looks like that poor trend is going to continue. It's a very strange bogey team, isn't it? It's such a strange team that he just can't seem to get a performance against. It's just very odd.
I suppose when you account that it was Jose Mourinho that sort of adds into it a little bit. The parking the bus method from that. Yeah, lisp now apparently. So yeah, the two managers he's played against, one who is notoriously a defensive tactician, and the other one who is a fraud, supposedly. It's interesting that they both seem to have the better of him, because I think they both recognised that the United squads they had didn't have the personnel to go toe to toe with them, so they went foot against toe really, and just didn't let them have anything.
What an analogy!
They just stood. They just stood on their toes. They didn't let them have anything. They didn't let them keep the ball.
Foot against toe, brilliant.
And I was going to point out the role of this midfield seems to be like roaming 4-1-4-1 / 4-2-3-1 really for United.
Yeah, and Sterling.
One of them is always.
He's missed. Oh goodness me! Sorry to cut in there again, Sam, but Sterling with an absolutely golden opportunity, and I think he's just missed the ball.
Yeah. No, I think
it's Kyle Walker that's whipped it in, and Sterling has missed the ball. Oh, he's missed the ball, Sterling.
That was worth interrupting me for, because that was a very good chance.
What a chance! What a chance that is for Raheem Sterling. He's done enough to put him off. He has done enough to put him off, and Sterling sees it late.
Came very close to scoring an own goal, though. I think that's the risk you take with that, isn't it?
Not convincing. Yeah, not convincing, but he did enough. And I think that's what Man United have done today. They have done enough to snuff out a lot of the chances City have had. Foden has won. Again, actually worth noting, Sam, Dean Henderson again giving the ball away from a free kick. And Foden, that's a poor pass there.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think City need to do in this last 10 minutes? Sorry to cut again, Sam, but Matt, what do you think City need to do in this last 10 to sort of, get something from this game? We've seen a picture of Aguero in the stands there. Do they need to bring him on?
Score.
Right, yeah, brilliant.
This is the analysis you can expect.
Fantastic.
No, I think we need to.
This is looking rough.
I think City. Yeah, they need to change something up. They need to try something. They need to. You're 2-0 down. You've got nothing to lose realistically. You're clearing the league, so you're just playing for the bragging rights, or at least trying to get something out of the game. So you either make the decision we're going to kind of rest, take players off and rest and just accept it, or you fight and you try something different.
Oh, Foden's in here. Oh, Wan-Bissaka's just cleared it. It's looking rough for City because from winning positions this season, Manchester United have only conceded 8 goals. So they do well to shut out games, and this is what they're used to. This is not what City are used to, but this is what United have done this season so many times. To great effect. And Gundogan has almost played in Mahrez there. Another last-ditch challenge by Harry Maguire. Man United can hit them on the break here. Martial. Fernandes is free. Zinchenko's getting across to him. Fernandes. Now Greenwood. Less goals than Fabio Silva this season, by the way. And he's given the ball away. And Rodri can bring it forward. Always have to throw in a little bit of Fabio Silva propaganda.
Yeah, I was gonna say you disrespecting Mason Greenwood just to get Wolves propaganda in there, or is it entirely?
No, I think Fabio Silva's been. I think Fabio Silva's been a little bit harshly treated this season for an 18-year-old that's come to a new league that wasn't supposed to start for Wolves. So yeah. So.
I do have you on
Manchester
Twitter, Tom, so I know you're one of those harsh people to him.
Well, not really. I back him a lot. But obviously, if he misses a sitter, I'm not going to be like, that's brilliant. I'm going to be like, oh, to be honest, even when he does miss a sitter, I don't slate him. I'm just more frustrated for him because every time he misses a sitter, all I can see in my head are the comments of £35 million for this terrible player. And so it's just sort of that frustration for him, really.
Well, self-centered there. Self-censored. Sorry. Get my words out.
Manchester United are beating the press quite well here. McTominay with a nice turn. Fred has lost the ball though. City with a 4-on-4. Mahrez with the chance. He's cut inside. Can he play it out wide? It's De Bruyne. Not Zinchenko. He's crossed it in. Is he going to fall for someone? Gundogan. Oh, and I tell you what, it's scrambled away. It's a goal kick, and Gundogan is fuming. He's absolutely fuming. Look at him. He's an angry man. He's not happy about that. He's not happy about that at all. It's been one of those days for City. It just hasn't. Nothing's come off for them, really. That is actually a corner. That is a corner. Wan-Bissaka got the final touch. It's actually pretty clear to see on the replay. So that's another one for the poor officiating bingo list. And Gundogan righteously there, I think, aggrieved by that decision. And Pep Guardiola supporting open arms, which is good to see. He's definitely not going to be welcoming this result with open arms, that's for sure. But I have 5 minutes to potentially pull off a pretty amazing comeback. It doesn't look like it's likely to happen, though. There's a cross that's been put in. Oh, my God. Another good chance for Sterling, and he's put it miles wide. I'll tell you what, I don't know how many chances this guy wants. He's had a real off day. Another brilliant ball by De Bruyne. Lindelof has fallen over, and Sterling with a free header from about 10 yards out has put it miles wide. I think he didn't expect Lindelof to fall there, and it's come at him a bit quickly, but 2 chances now for him. They've created chances in this second half, but again, they just haven't been clinical. And United have. And that's been the biggest real difference maker between the two sides. Shocker. I think Matt's inner Man City is definitely showing. He's looking very sad about this result.
To be honest. No, I'm quite tired, and from an FPL standpoint, it's not a fantastic result.
Yeah, I was going to say this is the Riyad Mahrez propaganda coming out now.
And I had Cancelo on as well, and he bloody didn't even make it to 60 minutes. He didn't even only got 1 point. Outrageous.
Well, Foden's been hacked down there by Wan-Bissaka. That's going to be a free kick. Maybe a chance here for City to nick a goal and get themselves back into this game. Phil Foden is not going to be happy about this. He's a big City fan.
And of course, a Manchester City player. So,
yeah. Well, I thought that much would have been obvious to the audience. De Bruyne has whipped it in, headed away by Fernandes, getting on defensive duty. It's been everywhere, to be fair, this today for Manchester United. De Bruyne has whipped it in. Oh, and it's flicked on. And I tell you what, John Stones, if he was a little bit quicker, would have got a toe onto that. Lovely flick on from Gundogan, and Stones has just missed it. It's another one of those for City. They've had a lot of those in this game. It's a close run thing, but yet again, wasteful with chances. The manager Matic, though, is coming on to close the game out. So it is very much United who are going to be defending this lead. Goodness, mate.
Dun, 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 dun. That's me celebrating, by the way. If that much was not already obvious. If that much wasn't already obvious.
The inner Man United is coming out here.
Nope, I did not once say I would be impartial today, so...
Not denying that you have in Manchester United, though.
I have already said on this stream that I'm a Manchester United fan, so...
Plastic.
Yeah, alright.
I thought you were a Hull fan. What's going on?
I grew up when Hull City were in the lower reaches of English football. Never did I think I'd see the heights of the Premier League and the FA Cup final in Europe, in fact.
Yeah,
as a
that lasted long.
5, 6... Alright, Tom, behave. As a 5, 6-year-old, you never think you're going to see that for Hull City, so... 4, 5, 6-year-old. So... Yeah.
Well,
Man United wore red, I like the colour red.
We're coming up to... Well, that's a fair enough reason, I guess. We're coming up towards the end of the game. Gary Neville has given Anthony Martial his Man of the Match award. Who are we going to give for our Man of the Matches today for this one?
Martial? Really?
Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I know.
I agree,
am
Matt.
Agree and say Luke Shaw. Yeah, I think Luke Shaw's been superb.
Yeah,
surprised that he's given it to Martial. Yeah, I don't know why on earth he's given it to Martial.
Propaganda, to be honest with you.
That is a terrible decision. I think Shaw has been fantastic. He's got a goal. It looks like United are going to keep a clean sheet. He hasn't been really troubled all game, apart from when Mahrez sat him down once in the first half. Apart from that, it's been pretty flawless.
It's all because we
if Manchester United played,
time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If Manchester United could play like this more often, they could certainly compete for the league. The confusing thing is, why don't they do it more often? You know, why can't they put in a performance like this every week? Is it a mentality thing?
Yeah, I think part of it. I do think it's difficult to motivate themselves. They find it difficult. I don't think I would agree because I would love football so much, but they don't really get up for the little games. I don't think, you know, the Fulhams and the West Broms, but they get really inspired for these games. Maybe it's a coaching thing. Maybe they're just not getting that team talk right before the game and not infusing them enough.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a strange one. It is a strange one because they've definitely got the quality to be able to compete, as we have seen today, but far too inconsistent. I think they need to tidy up the defence. 4 minutes to go of added time. We've had 5 minutes of added time, by the way, for Manchester City to try and maybe salvage something somehow. It's looking very, very unlikely. I think we're probably talking Leicester winning the league levels of unlikeliness here.
Do you think the fact they've kept a clean sheet will keep Dean Henderson in the team? Because I haven't been like he's not had much to do. But I haven't been that impressed by what little he has had to do.
Well, he's been okay. Yeah, he's been solid but unspectacular. I think really he's not had much to do, like you say. So I think defence. I think the defence for Manchester United has been easily the standout. They've been absolutely superb. Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof have all been pretty much flawless, really. They've shut out De Bruyne. They've shut out the front three as well: Sterling, Mahrez, Gundogan, Jesus. It's been a very, very complete performance for Manchester United. It's another little dinked pass from De Bruyne that hasn't come off. Goodness me, could we have seen this coming? I mean, we sort of hinted that it might happen, but it is pretty nuts what is going on at the moment. Manchester United to end Manchester City's 21 winning streak. Pretty insane. Manchester Giants have lost again. What is going on with them at the moment? Crikey. In a rough old season. And it's still their best ever season, apparently, as well. No, I just saw this.
Oh. Well, my good friend Johannes Munder's just lost the first set 6-1.
Oh.
Whee!
I don't know why you're laughing at him.
Sorry, that was a bit mean.
There was no need for that.
I'm a shit house. I do really enjoy your promotion of Johannes Monday, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel invested, honestly. If he goes on to do well, I'm going to feel like I was a part of that.
Yeah,
what do you mean it's so cute?
He's like a little stan.
It is very cute. Yeah, he's like, my best friend Johannes Monday is playing tennis tomorrow. Go and watch him. He's really good.
If you don't know what
but no, it's a good thing.
Sam likes to promote
good thing.
His friend and his journey into the tennis world.
Yeah. Just so that Johannes Monday doesn't. It's so Johannes Monday doesn't. It's so Johannes Monday doesn't forget him when he eventually becomes.
Does he know who you are?
Does he know who I am? Nibble. That's what that was.
The disrespect. Oh my word.
We've been friends since we were very young children. Thank you.
Does he know who you are? That's amazing.
It's been like 15 years now. So, yeah.
Do you know, if I ever become a journalist and if he plays at Wimbledon, I'll say, Sam Ketch, as you guys still speak? He'll be like, Sam Ketch? Who's that?
What can I say? He will forget us at some point.
Fame changes
does
people.
Funny things to people.
Yeah, I've seen a big increase in the amount of Instagram DMs that I get
from the robotic accounts, I assume.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. I have been sent a lot of those. Yeah, it's awful. I don't know what's happened. Oh, good shot, good save. Oh, and De Bruyne's shot hits Gundogan. Big penalty shouts from Man City. I don't know why. I think it's a handball they're asking for. I think it was Gundogan, though, that handballed it. Yeah, De Bruyne and Rodri are appealing for a penalty, but it's hit Gundogan on the arm. Very, very strange. I think... Yeah, there you go. Last action of the game. A corner. Cleared away. And there is the full-time whistle. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City fall yet again to Manchester United. It is the game that really haunts Pep Guardiola, and his poor home record against the Red Devils continues. Wow. Could we see this coming? I think we sort of did a little bit. We did sort of hint at it, but I'm not going to pretend like it was easy to predict. But what did we think, guys? What did we think for our first watch along? I think that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I think it went good. It's difficult to comment when we're all at different points, and I think it'll be a lot easier once we're able to be in person. But yeah, no, I think it's gone well, and I think we've had it wasn't the best game in the world, but there was events, there was things happening throughout. So
I would like to end the show with a show of solidarity for how I started it, and just offer one word: good.
Brilliant.
Thought it was going to be another.
There you go. Sam Ketch is a man of many words. Definitely a man of many words.
Words of which are wisdom.
Yeah, in terms of the league title, then I don't think this makes too much of a dent in Manchester City's challenge. But their 21-game winning run does come to an end. Really, really impressive performance from Manchester United. What do you think, Sam, edged it for them today?
The early penalty. I mean, a minute gone in the game and they've got a penalty and they're 1-0 up. Right, that changes the game completely, because I think if they'd gone 1-0 down, if the penalty had happened the other way, you're in a different situation. Man United can't play the same game they've just played. Effectively, what they got was the free opportunity to just choke the game out, and that's what gave it for me. I would like to just say that I don't think that's fully title race over just like that. 11 points in 10 games is not completely unsurmountable. I don't think it'll happen, but it's not completely unachievable.
Yeah, it's certainly. I mean, it's not particularly close. Oh man, I don't know. 11 points, I think, is definitely too much still. But Manchester United go unbeaten against Manchester City this season. Bruno Fernandes, I guess, sort of silencing the critics. It is another penalty, but he scored a goal in a derby. And yet again, we've seen them come out on top. Matt, do you think that this is going to maybe damage Manchester City's confidence, or do you think that this is just a bump in the road and they'll get back to what they're used to?
No, I think this is just a bump in the road, and they'll sort of go back to what they're used to. I think, you've got to look at the game for what it was. An early mistake, punished with a penalty, put Manchester United in the lead. And, I don't know. I just don't think Manchester City really had that fight. They didn't really show that same desire that Manchester United seemed to show. You saw Man United, closing down balls. They had a lot of energy. They were chasing down everything, and they just looked more dominant on the pitch. And I think, even though the stats may show that, even though Manchester City had more possession, they had more shots on target, Man United had a lot more shots from within the box. They seemed to get forward a lot better, and from the chances that they created, they managed to finish on those.
No, I'd 100% agree. I think that it's definitely a bump in the road for Manchester City. Will they be able to claw it back? We'll have to wait and see. But thank you to everyone who joined us for today's show. We hope you enjoyed the new direction that Live at the Quays is going in. We're happy to come along for the ride as well, as always. So big thank you to Sam and Matt for spending the best part of the evening listening to me talk, and vice versa. It's not always what you would probably pick as your ideal afternoon, but it's certainly been a lot of fun, and I've personally really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to doing more of these. Just don't give us a West Brom Newcastle, please, and I think we'll be happy with that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Commiserations, Manchester City, but Manchester United is going to be a party town for that fan base tonight. They're going to drink well. They're going to have some salted peanuts or something. I don't know. Enjoy yourselves. Don't go too crazy though. Have a water like Sam. Be sensible, and make sure to follow Johannes Monday as well on social media. And see.
Or just follow Sam, and you're basically following him if you follow Sam.
Yeah, we'd like to apologise to Sam for the little bit of stick there that he's got. But yeah, it's nice to see your friends succeed, so I don't blame you. But anyway, back to the chat. Thank you guys for watching the show. We hope you can join us for the next one. Take care.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.